Mike Top, Tampa Bay, let's roll, it's game day. Rays on the diamond, bolts in the sky, Bucs on the goal line, Bulls ride or die. From the tailgate talk to the bright field glow, you know where to go. It's the JP Peterson Show.
Yes, it is, and the Buccaneers camp is officially open. Yeah. Last year, I dubbed it Camp Kumbaya because everything was so nice and perfect and in order. And this one, I haven't quite come up with a name yet, Timmy, but I might go with No Juice.
Camp Chaos.
It's not quite. I've had a Camp Chaos before. I've had that. That would work. That would work. This is Camp Chaos. It feels like chaos and no juice. No juice today. I don't know why. It just that's my feeling.
Camp Questions.
Yeah, Camp Question Marks. How about that? Camp Question Marks. Camp Chaos. It ain't Camp Kumbaya. I can tell you that. That's for damn sure. Welcome into the JP Peterson Show, and football season is back, Timmy. Football season is officially back.
It's here, baby.
We talk about people playing football, but guess what? We're going to talk about people not playing football.
That's what we do
That's
here.
the headline. That's the headline. We got a great show for you. Bill Carlson, the swing vote for the Rays Stadium. That's all. That's all. He just holds that in the palm of his hand. No biggie. We will talk to him 12, 15, $55 billion of economic impact, 12,000 jobs. So I've been chatting with Mr. Carlson over the last few days. Good to have him on the show today at 12:15. We'll look forward to that. Sorry if you guys missed the whole promotion we've been doing about the new time. It'll be noon to 2 today, tomorrow, and Friday. And then we'll look at we already have it scheduled out. I think Monday they have the day off, but I'll double check. But at least for the rest of the week, it's noon to 2. So please comport yourselves accordingly as we go through it. We'll get to the Rays today. Timmy, keep an eye on any trades or anything going down. I don't think anything's happened yet, but that situation is going to heat up really, really quickly. Rick is postulating camp mediocre nears. Mediocre nears. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it is interesting in so very many ways. So we'll get into that. So here we go. Charlie Strong's going to join us as well to talk football as he does each and every Wednesday. We're going to reiterate his comments on Vita Vea, which I think are very, very instructive in this whole thing. So we'll get to that. We'll talk a little SEC as well. Obviously, having coached at Texas, been in a lot of different conferences. So we'll talk some college football with him as well. All
Did you see, real quick, JP, did you see, so, of course, the Baltimore Ravens have a new play-by-play guy,
PA announcer, right?
Guy from here, Nick Yeomans that I know very well that was here with the Cowboys for a long time. They also have a new in-stadium PA announcer.
Yeah.
So to give him practice, and I didn't pull video of this, I probably should have, he was standing outside the Baltimore Ravens training facility this morning and calling the players as they walked into the facility.
It's fantastic. I saw it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. It was freaking fun.
Hailing from Michigan State, number 92.
Literally in the parking lot as they're walking in, and he was
a three-time Pro Bowler from Ohio State, number 17. That's great. And he's like,
funny.
Shouldn't we all come to work that way?
Yes. God,
he hails from
great.
Hollywood, Florida, Olsen Middle School, all-pro.
An all-pro at every sport.
I'm going to brag a little. I was an all-pro at every sport in elementary school.
That would be your intro.
Right there. There it is. There's
an all-pro at every sport in elementary school.
School at Hollywood Hills Elementary, JP Peterson. We should all have that when we go to work. I think
the players freaking loved it. It was funny anyway.
Yeah. No,
I'll check that video out on social.
So that would add a little juice to the party here.
Yeah.
But instead, there's just like the rain that engulfed practice today. A little rain shower came through. Didn't stop it, but a little rain shower. There's clouds hanging over this Buccaneer training camp. There's no question about it. And it starts today with Vita Vea, who did this today. He sat on the sidelines and watched, joking around with his teammates. I believe we have some video here as well. Yeah, there's the guys, a defensive lineman, and you'll see number 50 in the back. Yes, number 50 is not participating, doing play-by-play. But I believe watch real quickly. The technique here is he grabs the bag. Yes, that's Vita Vea grabbing yes, very good technique here. Yeah, yeah, that's not what you want Vita Vea doing.
No,
just as no. So yesterday he came in and Bowles said he ran well in the testing, but he tweaked his back, Timmy.
Did he though?
We got to take it at face value.
Yes,
I don't know. I think I got a little back thing. I think I got a thing.
Ow!
Oh! Yeah. Ooh, yeah. I think I got a thing. Look at a little thing back there.
All right.
Get a little treatment on that. Nah, this has nothing to do with the contract situation. No. Todd told us that he has tweaked his back. Vita Vea has tweaked his back. Far be it from me to question any man's injury. Far be it from me. I would never do such a thing. But how convenient. How convenient. Come on now. So that's what we're doing. Remember when Tristan Wirfs sat out a couple of years ago, at least a couple of years ago? And this not for the
sat in, kind of right. It was a hold in
surgery of last year.
Yeah.
But it was the year before where it was all kumbaya. Everybody was like, oh, we'll get it done. We're getting close, but we just don't need to take any chances while we're getting close to that's not what's going on. Tristan Wirfs did not ask for a trade. Vita Vea asked for a trade. Bowles said today that, it doesn't really matter. These guys are under contract. It'll figure itself out. And typically it does. If we're being honest, I mean, we could come on here and, try to blow through hyperbole. Maybe he really does want to trade and he hates it here. I didn't get that. He did an interview with Kay Adams on Monday and he was like, no, it's close. He's always loved it here. Todd Bowles loves him. I guess, he's an old running back in high school, so he likes dropping into coverage at times. Maybe not, but he likes it here. He's always liked it here. That's why when we heard he was requesting a trade, it was a little bizarre, but he is, and I still think there's a lot of room to get this done. I don't know what he's asking for. I don't know what Baker's asking for. We don't know. So it's hard for us to sit here and say, well, it's not hard, but when we sit here and say, let's get it done, we don't know. I mean, is Baker asking for $70 million a year? If he is, no, that we're not doing that. Is he asking for, $175 million guaranteed, close to what Brock Purdy got? That's what we should be doing. But evidently the original offer from the Bucs was an insult. So much so they didn't even counter, according to Rick Stroud. So where are we at? What it looks like from the outside is that this organization does not value Baker Mayfield and Vita Vea as much as I think they should. And I think a lot of other people in the media are on board with this. This creates tension in camp. There's no question about it. Bucky was asked about it. We'll hear from him a little bit later on in the show. Chris Godwin was asked about it. Unfortunately, my mic went out, so I was going to get that to you, but nope. And basically what all of them said was, look, we know what's going on, but it's just business. And when they get here or, their deals are done, then it's move on. We're just moving on. Now, that's going to be their public response. But listen, team chemistry is a very fragile thing. Is it 100% necessary to win championships? I don't know. I think so. I think it's an important part of it when you're, playing a team sport like this. But, these things can pass. Vita can have a deal next week, and then all this is a whole lot of hooey about nothing, right? Baker Mayfield could have a deal next week, and it's a whole lot of hoo-ah about nothing. And, there is room to say, hey, listen, Jason Light's not rolling over. He's trying to get the best deal for the team. And at this particular moment, Baker Mayfield said, we're not going to negotiate anymore. Now, they also, the Bucs, know what his asking price is. They've been doing this for a while. So if they feel like it's time to meet his asking price or come back with something that's pretty close, they'll get a deal done. And in my heart of hearts, I think they're going to do that. And the same with Vita Vea. Because I don't think this organization is this dumb. I don't. I think they're trying to get the best deal that they can, and that's just business. That's fine. But they can't be this dumb. You can't say, I'm not sure how valuable Baker Mayfield. You can't tell me that, oh, listen, just let Baker Mayfield go out and play on this deal. That's when he plays his best. I get that, and he will. You can, and then you can franchise him. You can do that. But is that really the best way to handle this? Is that the best message to send throughout your team? I mean, if you play it that way, how much money are you really going to save? He's making $41 million this year. He would make $47 to $50 million next year on a franchise tag. So that you're looking at $90 million guaranteed in 2 years. Whereas you could do a deal right now for probably be $170 million guaranteed over 4 years, $50 million a clip, and probably get that deal done. I would think.
You've thrown that number out there before. I think it's higher, man.
I think that would be a great deal for the Bucs, and I think it would be, I think that's a good compromise. Baker is not tier one. He's not.
No, and he knows that. He knows that.
Of course he does. I mean, if we'd have told him when he was, on his fourth team in 4 years, hey, you're going to sign a $110 million deal, which he's in the last year of now, and then you're going to get another one at 175 guaranteed for another 4 years. Would you take it? Hell yeah, he'd take that.
He said all day long.
All day long. So let's don't, change the equation here. And Baker's a guy that understands that if he leaves a little bit on the table, it helps the team. But it's hard to have that attitude when you may perceive your team as not being all in. You went cheap in free agency and you wouldn't fire a coach for $12 million. That could be some people's perception. That may not be the truth. That may not be the truth, but I know that's a lot of people's perception out there, fans and maybe some players. I mean, Mike Evans didn't leave for no reason. Okay, he wanted to be a Buck for life. As I said yesterday, it's changed. It's changed over there. There's no question about it. The vibe, it's changed. It's not an all for one. We're all taking less money. Let's go win a championship type deal. It's because the organization changed that dynamic with the way they've handled these contracts and by keeping Todd Bowles. That's just that's my opinion, and I think it's pretty close to spot on. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like to me. That's right. Like I said, Evans took way less money to leave his Bucs skull game.
Yeah,
and this is camp chaos. This is camp no juice.
And here's the difference between the negotiations probably with Baker right now and the negotiations with Vita Vea. I think they'll end up both signing. I mean, ultimately, I think obviously that's what's going to happen. The problem with Vita Vea is the longer you wait, the more expensive it's going to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. So you need to just knock that thing. So when that news came out yesterday, I turned my Dallas Cowboys podcast this morning at 7 a.m. into a Vita Vea show. Because
let's go get Vita Vea.
Let's go get Vita Vea, because right now you've got the same situation with Quinnen Williams, who's not holding in. He's at camp and it's not an issue right now, but his contract is up at the end of the year and he spent a ton of money to go get him. And he spent a ton of draft capital to go get him from the Jets. So they're going to pay him. And, but his price tag is going to be $28-29 million, I think, a year.
Mm-hmm.
Vita Vea, you can go probably get for 23.
Maybe 23, 25. I think you're in the neighborhood. And again, if you're paying him 17 this year, you bump it up to 25 and sign it for another 2 years guaranteed and a third on the other end.
Yeah,
I think you get that deal done. And as we said yesterday, Charlie's will back me up. Charlie Strong will talk about what great shape Vita Vea is in despite his back injury.
Oh, my back. I forgot.
Yeah. And by the way, Tristan Wirfs did not practice. He has a hamstring injury, the dreaded hamstring injury for Tristan Wirfs. Nothing to worry about at this point. Absolutely nothing to worry about. Now. So, but he was out. Got a lot of positive things actually to say about what happened at practice today. So stay tuned for that. There will be some positivity on the other end. But right now we want to bring in a man who was in the middle of the biggest deal in the history of the city of Tampa in terms of the Rays Stadium project. And as I read it, Bill Carlson, you are the swing vote. So not much pressure. Just 75 billion in economic impact, 12,000 jobs, all these things. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Nobody's watching. How are you, partner? How you doing?
Good. Thank you for inviting me on. It's been great speaking with you the last few days.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm getting a lot of clarity on what's going on behind the scenes, and we appreciate you coming on. And more than anything, we appreciate your vote on the MOU. That was key to keeping everything going. And now we're at the next phase of this to get the deal down to what's right. So I'd like to begin.
One of the funny things is until Friday, I relied on you a lot for information. That changed on Friday.
Well,
so I appreciate you spreading information to the public.
We're happy to do it. And I think we've been the most accurate, quite frankly. So we're happy to do it. And now, but I'm glad you're talking directly to Ken Babb, because that's a lot better. I mean, I get great information, but talking to the guy who you should be negotiating with and probably should have been from the beginning is the good part. So how's that going?
Great. And like I said before, he and I had been talking for 6 months, but it was one directional because he wasn't allowed to negotiate with us, really. And I did give a few unsolicited ideas 6 months ago, but they were rejected by somebody. But as of Friday, you saw in writing and on video, the Rays have committed to negotiating directly with city council members. And I can't emphasize enough, there's a difference between being staff or the Rays being available for comment versus or available for briefings versus what to be part of the process. Last week, I was briefed by someone in the administration. And then when I met with Babby and I met yesterday with Bonnie Wise and Ken Babby, the deal itself is really different than I think the administration knows. I heard the mayor yesterday, the deal as it is today is totally different. And she's on vacation, but I think it's evolved completely since the MOU.
And that's interesting because I've said on this program, I don't understand why the city council members are saying they don't have the information, because they could call the Rays, they could listen to my show. There's lots of public information out there. Why don't they know? And the question is actually something different, and you just pointed it out, is that there's talking to each other, but there's not negotiating. So when you say negotiating, you have concerns. Your constituents have concerns. We don't need to get into the specifics and litigate that in public. But if you can kind of give us a background of kind of what those things are and what you guys are trying to negotiate.
Yeah, and let me just say this for your viewers. Those of you who watched the discussion about the MOU, that was the first time, because of Sunshine Law, that was the first time city council ever had to negotiate the MOU together. This is the first time we ever had to discuss it with each other. So we didn't know what other people knew. And we found that we all didn't know very much. And so when you heard somebody say, I haven't been included, we were briefed, but the information that's coming from the county and the Rays is completely different. And the MOU is several pages long. So some people would say, well, how are you so stupid? You didn't know that it was 100 million and 80 million. We all heard that, but the deal itself has lots of elements in it. Can you imagine if you're buying a car or house and you don't read any of the documents you're signing? Right. Except in this case, it's not our money, it's taxpayer money. And I'm being told that the final document is going to be hundreds of pages long. And we need time to be able to go through that. If the administration dumped it on us at the last minute and we didn't know what was in it, most likely we would have to say no, because there would be no room to ask questions or negotiate. So this process now, where the Rays are speaking to and negotiating with each of the city council members and all of the county commissioners, so there are 14 of us, I think this deal has a fair chance of moving forward. And
that's the best news of all.
Also, there's going to be more transparency. They've agreed to release drafts maybe as early as next week. We can't get the document the last minute. That'll give everybody in the public a chance to look at it, including Rays fans. And, Rays fans might find things that they don't like about it. Imagine if you're buying a car or house, wouldn't you want to kick the tires a little bit, maybe drive it, look at the document and maybe negotiate. If you walk into a dealership and they say, well, here's the price, here's the contract, and you sign and pay right away, you might not get everything you could have gotten. And in this case, like I said, it's not our money, it's the public's money.
So I want people to understand this, because I myself was confused about this, and maybe I took a lot of assumptions about the process itself. And I thought that, during this negotiation, city council would be privy to the negotiations. Like, I know I don't know, maybe you can or you can't be in the room. I don't know. Evidently you can't. Were you allowed to be in the room for the negotiations? They said, no, you can't come.
We weren't invited to be in the negotiations, and the actual negotiations have representatives of each of the parties. So the TSA, the Rays, the county, in theory, the city, although since I started getting in the middle of it in the last few days, I've heard everybody complain that the mayor has rarely shown up and the chief of staff rarely shows up. And so
from the city side,
it sounds like the city has not really had a seat in the table. And that's why they don't have a higher awareness of what's in the documents or what's going on. And so if city council had not stood up, we might not have been able to represent the city's interests. I mean, Bonnie in effect was representing the city and the county, and she doesn't know all the issues in the city, although she used to.
That's Bonnie Wise, the county attorney.
County administrator.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that clears a lot of stuff up for a lot of us, because we were like, how do they not know? Why are they not involved in? And in some cases, you were told things or you heard things on my show that are actually not what the city told you the deal was. There's a disconnect.
Like I said, I was briefed last week, and the person who briefed me, I know, was just giving the information he had, but it was completely different than where they are in the negotiations. And the negotiations have moved on for weeks from that point. So without the city having a real seat at the table, or city council having a seat at the table, we can't represent the interests of our community. And just because we're asking questions and pushing back and trying to negotiate doesn't mean we don't want the deal. It means that we're trying to get a better deal for Rays fans and the broader community. What happened last week was that we turned down two minor things that can easily be reversed. But the next day or that night, Ken Babby called me and said, "Can I meet you tomorrow?" So I met him for breakfast, and I paid. And because somebody asked that, I paid. And I always pay when people meet me. I don't let people pay. And he started talking about the deal. And I said, I really insist that you meet with all the city council members. And because of Sunshine, he can't tell me what they say, but he can have individual conversations with them. And then he can bring that back to the negotiating table, and they can represent that.
Bill, as I said in the beginning, I think you're going to be the swing vote in this. And now you're speaking directly to Ken Babby, and you voiced your concerns to him about certain things. And I know you still need a few answers, and there's negotiation to be had. But in general, do you think you can get to a yes vote?
What I've told them all along is that we were elected by voters, and there are voters that are very in favor of this, that want us to approve it as is. There are voters who want us to approve it, but they want us to negotiate more. And there are voters that are very against it. And, there are lots of polls going around. My campaign people do their own polls, and those polls are different. And it depends on how you do a poll as to what it says. And what I think the real polls are, the accurate polls say, is that we have work to do. And the way you do that is by addressing the concerns of the folks. For example, Drew Park, it's not in my district, but they're concerned that they're going to be completely left out of the deal, and they want to be able to control their own future. If a TIF is set up, if the CRA expires for Drew Park and a TIF is set up for the project, there will be no money set aside just for Drew Park, and they would like to have money set aside. So yesterday I proposed that we start a new CRA for them at the same time as the TIF is started, so they can still control their destiny.
So that would bring the 850 acres of Drew Park and in with the 120 acres of this development. They bring it together.
The new CRA would exclude the development, and the TIF would, CRA is a type of TIF. So the TIF is tax increment finance. So what it means is that for the project, all the property taxes they create in the project stay in the project to be spent on infrastructure.
Okay.
And there's going to be definitely impact on the rest of Drew Park because of increased traffic and parking and everything. And they want to make sure that they have money to invest. If the CRA, that stands for Community Redevelopment Area, if that goes away, that means that all of their property tax goes into the general fund, and it can be spent anywhere in the city. So they would like to have a fund to control their own future.
I get that. And that seems fair and doable.
And guess what? That doesn't cost the Rays anything.
Right, exactly. So that seems, and these are the things that need to be worked out. So that's what I'm talking about. You can get to a deal. You just have to have the back and forth to say, this is what we're concerned about.
Yeah, the biggest area of concern besides making sure the deal is right and that it has fail safes and things, is that, by the way, some folks asked that it be mandatory that the project, the broader project would go forward if the funding continued. And Bonnie has already anticipated that, probably listening to the community, and she's included it. So that answers that question. But the biggest concern I have is, in the last 15 years, the last two administrations have spent hundreds of millions of dollars on things that are nice to have, but not things that we need. And as a result, we have a $2 billion backlog just in road repair. And people are complaining about the state of the roads. They pay a lot in taxes and they want their roads fixed. They also want us to protect them from flooding. And even though in the last administration, there was a new stormwater tax put in, the houses throughout South Tampa flooded. And so they want us to find solutions for these very real problems, but they don't want us to raise taxes. And so as we look at it, we've got to find creative solutions. And so one of the solutions I have proposed is let's put a cap on the downtown CRA. For example, there's no more slum and blight in downtown, so there's no reason to trap that money there.
That's
Water
right.
Street itself is generating about $20 million a year. Except for some temporary money, the regular budget for road repair has been $4 million a year, but it should be 50, which is why we have a $2 billion backlog. So if we could move, for example, $20 million a year over the next 30 years out of the downtown CRA and spend it on a road fund or a flooding fund or a sidewalk fund or a parks fund, that would be $600+ million. And you compare the numbers the Rays are asking us to invest versus that. And I can say to my constituents, look, yeah, we're going to pay for this project and there are benefits just to the project, but we're going to do what you want also, which is to fix the roads.
Right.
And why would we attach that to this deal? Because we can't change the terms of the CRA unless the county approves. And in the past, the county has not approved. And so if the county wants this project, we would ask them to approve. Again, it would not cost the Rays anything. It would not cost the county anything.
Yeah. And so what you're saying is let's move the money that we may give to the Rays that we could use for roads, right?
Yeah, like
we'll
CIG.
just get money over here for the roads, and then we can give you that money. And
the same thing with fire trucks and ambulances. This is a very real problem. People think that potholes are a small problem, but they're all over the city. And when it rains, we get all kinds of texts and calls from people because their roads are flooding. They don't want their roads to flood. But imagine that one of your family members is having a heart attack and the ambulance is 20 years old instead of 5 years old, and it breaks down and your family member dies. This happened a few months ago. So what we need to do is make sure that we have the best equipment to protect people's lives. And by moving, it may not just be this solution, but as an example, if we were to move 20 million or so a year out of downtown that doesn't need it, we could spend on fire trucks or police stations or whatever.
So what I'm hearing overall, to keep it kind of simple, is there's a lot of creative ways to get this deal done. And do you still believe, because I remember you said at the city council that you don't like giving public dollars to private developers. Is that still your position, or do you feel like this can be, with some negotiations, a fair deal for everybody?
Yeah, there's a competitive issue where, for example, the last mayor gave $100 million to Water Street and Midtown got zero. West Shore gets zero. They're all going after the same tenants. So, free market capitalism is don't subsidize one versus another. If you're subsidizing a raised ballpark, of course you would do that, but subsidizing the private
because
sector,
they're bringing a Major League Baseball team and hopefully 9 million visitors. Yeah.
So the real essence of the benefit of having the Rays is that we keep Major League Baseball in the region, and we keep a team that has had 3 or more generations of people in Tampa Bay connected to it. My kids have gone to Rays games with my mom, their grandmother, and they have really strong positive memories of that. And a lot of families have experienced that. So those memories that people build by going to Rays games, and baseball is uniquely scheduled and timed to allow the interaction with the family and friends. It provides a benefit to the community that's harder to measure, but it's way more valuable than economic impact numbers.
Really? So I love to hear you say that, because I think so myself. That would, some would disagree, but you don't think the economic impact numbers are what these studies say they are?
I studied economics at 3 great schools, and I could go through in detail and rip apart any economic impact number. And I told Patrick and Ken this 6 months ago. And so I set those aside. Also, if we set up a fund for 1.3 billion and said we're going to subsidize real estate all over the city, come apply, we would get the same or greater economic impact. That the extra development is really to help the deal, but the benefit we get is by having Major League Baseball. As Ken says, there's no great American city that doesn't have a Major League Baseball team. So we would have that. And more importantly, as long as the team is winning, which it mostly has been, it creates an esprit de corps in the community. And when we have a World Series and the Rays win, people all over the world are going to be talking about Tampa. And so I definitely see the benefit of that. And I think that's way greater than any number that people could throw out.
The transmittal to Tallahassee, the procedural thing that you guys kind of scuttled last week, can that be fixed this week? Is that a big deal? We can
fix that anytime we want. It's not that the Rays wanted to go as quickly as possible, but it's not urgent that it has to go out at a certain time. The same thing about pulling it off the other vote was to pull it off the agenda for the CRA. And when I met with Ken the next day, he said, we might have asked you to do that anyway because of our own timing. But we can put those things back on at any time. What I said at the time that we took it off is when the Rays say they're ready, we can put it back on.
All right. That sounds good. All right. So again, last question. You've met with Ken, you've exchanged ideas. Is there a groundwork, a framework to get this done? And when the final vote comes up, and when would that final vote be?
They publicly pushed for the end of August. I don't know. It could be August or September, but now they're having two-way conversations with 14 elected officials, county commission and city council. And that gives them a chance of getting more support. Why be happy with 4 votes when you might be able to get 5 or whatever? Yeah. And so whether I'm a key vote or somebody else changes, just because somebody says they're against it doesn't mean that you can't find something that would benefit their constituents. And by the way, none of it is about campaign contributions. None of us have accepted, to my knowledge, campaign contributions from them. We're not asking for anything like that. We're asking to them to listen to the concerns of the community and address those concerns.
That sounds fair to me, Bill. Listen, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your diligence on this. I think you without a doubt, you understand the gravity of this and the importance of it. So
can I say real fast? I think there's going to be more transparency going forward too, which will give this a chance. So what I think they're going to do is meet with all the city council members, all the county commissioners, and then sometime next week, they can't assign ideas to individuals for sunshine reasons, but what they can do is come to the public and say, here are the 10 things or whatever that we heard that are concerns of the community through the elected officials. And then here are the 10 or whatever ideas we have to resolve them. And Ken and Bonnie can present that. And so we say, here's the community issue and here's the solution. And then we'll hear back from the community for a few days. And then they'll incorporate that into the draft. And then instead of springing the document on us and the public at the last minute, within a week or two, I think they can release a draft of the hundreds of pages. And then the community can look at it and give us feedback on it. We can give that feedback to the Rays and the county, and they'll have time to adjust it before it comes up for a vote. That, again, gives it a much better chance of being approved.
Well, I think we all feel like this probably should have happened a long time ago, but it didn't. And here we are. So what I hear you saying is there's a big boulevard to get this thing done. There's a large pathway. We just got to get everything headed in the right direction. So I'm happy to hear that. All right, Bill, thank you for your time, my friend. Appreciate you. You're welcome here anytime. So let me know if you want to come back through as this process continues over the next few weeks till we get it done.
Thank you so much.
All right. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Bill Carlson right there, Tampa City Council. It's interesting. We've gone through this in a lot of ways. And there were times I was very mad at Mr. Carlson, but I hadn't really talked to him, kind of like with Babby. We hadn't really talked to him and listened to his side of the story. And it all gets clouded in the political BS. And there's a reason why I didn't go there with him and the mayor. And he was respectful of that. Is that, there's no reason to. There's just no reason to throw.
What's it accomplish?
Yeah. And I think the mayor the other day probably did throw some barbs out. And Mr. Carlson could have fired back, but he chose not to. And I appreciate that. There's There's not, we don't need to be doing that. Y'all can do that over something else, but not this. It's too big a deal. So I hope you guys understand what, a little bit better, the dynamics of what's going on. I think we all just kind of throw up our hands and go, why didn't this happen earlier? And it's a lot of it is because of power grabs and political infighting and what have you. But the bottom line is, there's going to be a deal. It's going to get done one way or another. What the timing is on it, I'm not sure, but we're getting this done. We're getting this done. I'm very confident. All right.
Wayne agrees with you. He says, I feel more confident after that interview.
All right, good. That's what we were looking for. All right, good. So my whole goal in these 2 days of having the mayor and Mr. Carlson on, the two key players really in this in terms of the drama that's going on, was to cool the temperature and get back to talking about what's important and opening avenues for Ken and Mr. Carlson to talk. Listen, because of the reporting that we've done, I think Mr. Carlson has told me and Ken has told me that they've learned things from this show that have helped the process. And this transparency that Bill's talking about is fantastic. The more transparency, the better. I think that's been a big problem here. So, and that's, we don't need to blame anybody. It's just, as I said, it's part of the process. The process gets ugly. It's a lot of money. It's politically charged. There's a lot that goes into it. And and people will do a lot of things when there's this much money involved. So that's where we're at. But I think you can tell Mr. Carlson is a reasonable man. He has real concerns, and they're being met. And if the Rays want to get a deal done here, bad enough, which I know they do, they're probably going to have to bend on some stuff. And they'll have to make those decisions. And I don't think they have any interest in going other places. They may have to make a little bit less money than they thought in the deal. But I'll say this right now. If you look at what happened in Atlanta and you look at the projections of what's happening here, if there's a small adjustment that needs to be made on the Rays side, I believe they're going to do it, because overall they're going to make a crap ton of money. And so is the city, and so is the county, because you're going to bring hopefully 9 million people here a year, just like the Battery does.
Yeah.
75% of which come from outside the county. If the numbers hold to what goes on in Atlanta, I think it might be more.
Who would rather go to Tampa than Atlanta?
Well, but just saying that, how many people are going to come from Pasco, from Pinellas County, from Bradenton, from Sarasota? Yeah. How many of the 45 million visitors that we have every year that come through Tampa International Airport are going to go, take some time to go have a lunch, go have a dinner, go to a ball game before they go out to the beach, and they're out to the beach, drive back over and come to a baseball game? I was going to say a significant amount.
Sure.
And that brings money in from the outside into your coffers. And that's what this is really all about. As well as the property tax as well.
And I think too that, it kind of shows us from hearing Bill Carlson talk just now, those concerns from the other side are real concerns. It's not just anti-baseball things. No, right? They're
certainly
real
not
concerns.
Anti-baseball. Yes.
Yeah. And I get it. They're real things. And it's just things we have to work through, or they have to work through. Like
he says, that flooding in streets are a huge deal here. And that's what most of the people who oppose this said. Listen, we got a lot of backlog here. We gotta, keeping things from flooding. It's just the storm water. I mean, part of it's where we live. We live in an area where, hurricanes bring sea levels up 12 feet. It's hard to build a 12-foot wall around Tampa. But that being said, the drainage could certainly be a hell of a lot better. And those things are expensive. So if you're going to say, hey, we can't give that money to the Rays. We got and he says, well, wait, we got money over here that they don't need in downtown anymore. And that's being produced for the CRA. We can just shift that to the roads. Okay. Problem solved. There we go. Now Bill can go to his constituents and say, look, I got $20 million a year coming from the CRA downtown. We were good. The budget was $4 million. So we're, and they go, oh, awesome. Great job. That's leadership. That's getting shit done. That's being creative. And, I hope the Rays are open to that. Of course they would be. They want to get the deal done, and they want what's best for Tampa Bay. So, yeah. All right, let's take our first break. We'll come back. We're going to get into some Bucky Irving stuff. I want you to hear from him today. He looked really good. He's back at 100% physically, no question about that. And you'll hear him talk about his mentals as well. And we got a lot more to get to here in terms of the Rays. So I want to get to all of your comments as well. Charlie Strong joining us at 1 o'clock to talk about Vita Vea. And he's going to tell you that this guy's got 3 or 4 more good years left in him. So let's pay the man. Let's pay the big man. Hey, we're brought to you by the great folks at Genesis of Tampa. 90 days, no payments, folks. 90 days, no payments. And they got an event coming up tomorrow that they are supporting, a back-to-school event at Office Evolution on Harbor Island. You are welcome to come. I'll put some information up on our social medias and in the chat here. That'll be Thursday night. Yeah, that's tomorrow. So check that out. They're always doing great things in the community, Genesis of Tampa. And they're selling great cars, by the way. You can get a great freaking deal on a GV70 like I did. That's the one that everybody's talking about. It's tremendous value, best in class. Go check it out at Genesis of Tampa, 801 East Bears Avenue up there in North Tampa. Back in 3. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch roofing done right.
Big thanks to Italiano Insurance, the great folks over there. They will soon be part of Gallagher Insurance. A little name change, but same great folks, same great customer service you've known for over 65 years. They do all the work. You save all the money. ItalianoInsurance.com at 813-877-7799. Hey, guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch, and everything is handmade, and the wings are big, and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service you get, $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's a love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000. And all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. The great folks at Riveters, where you get your Rays happy hour every time they play. Like tonight, you get $6 Jacks, $6 Nitos, and $6 margaritas, food specials as well. Wings, baseball, Rays, and Riveters at Riveters.com. All right, quickly, let's get to some of your thoughts. Michael LaRue said, so Carlson's position is that downtown Tampa is getting more money than his district of South Tampa. Well, I don't think that's exactly his position.
It's a little oversimplification, I think.
Yeah, the CRA is, because of all the building and construction and development that went on down there, which has been highly profitable for the city for their $100 million investment or $50 million. But it's put back billions of dollars. What else we got here? Jimmy J. Voyager, one of our members, thank you very much, says, I feel so much better now. I think this deal is definitely getting done now. Thank you, Mr. Carlson, for your hard work. Yeah, reach out to him, email him, call him, and thank him for his consideration of making this happen. Danny Boy says we're getting it done in Tampa. With all due respect, says Pete Scholes, I have never, ever seen a 29-year-old ambulance in Tampa. Jeez. Like, how do you know how old they are?
Yeah, come on.
Did you ID them at the hospital? Olin Doyle Hill says, please ask the council person if he's backing off his earlier statement of a couple of months ago and that he approved the memorandum of understanding, but with the caveat that he would not be supporting the project when it came back. Yes, we did ask him that and asked him that twice. Is there a way to get his vote? Yes, and he said absolutely. Kurt Thorson, good to see you at camp today. He said motion to vote to pass the land use to Tallahassee when council meets tomorrow, July 30th, and vote yes. As you heard him say, that's not a big deal. They can get it done whenever they need to get it done. So all those outlets that were freaking out about that thing, I did a little bit. I knew it wasn't a deal breaker. We knew that. But it was just, it seemed petulant at the time, but now I understand it better. So my apologies. Chris Cole says Bucs fans have to stop blaming Bowles for everything that happens. It's not like Cohn was playing a first place schedule, but he will be this season though. I get it. But anybody,
I agree.
Listen, there'll be a correction, but are you still saying you'd rather have Bowles than Liam Cohen?
No.
Okay. Just checking. Kurt also adds 15 cities in America have 3 teams in their city limits. They have infrastructure matters, fire trucks, and they've figured it out. The money this project will return to the public works is staggering. That is true.
Yep.
If you believe the studies, and Mr. Carlson clearly
does not.
He is a skeptic. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't get that. I think it's obvious, but listen, it's, if there's going to be plenty of money to be made, but if the Rays are trying to seize all of the revenue, which I don't think they're trying to get all of it, they're trying to get a huge chunk of it. Then yeah, it could be more back to the taxpayer, and that's what's being negotiated right now. Okay. I'm down with that. All right, let's get to, and I'll get to your comments here in just a little bit. I wanted to get to some of the sound from today and some of the other videos. I'm just going to pop some up here, Timmy. Here's Baker getting limbered up. There's old Shep still out there. Sterling Shepard. Baker. See Basilak there. I thought Browning had a good day. He hit Tez deep on a couple of balls. Tez dropped him on. There you see the best offensive line in all of the NFL right there. There's Cody Mount, 69. He's back.
All that hair.
All that hair, baby. Everybody's
Jealous.
in the right place. What you don't see there is Tristan Wirfs. And he'll be back, though. That's just temporary. That's just temporary. I think I got some video in here of Ted Hurst catching a football. I think it's actually right here. No, there it is. Yeah. He is, and Godwin talked about it today, absolutely effortless, the way he runs. Kind of reminds me, remember the old Harold Carmichael?
Harold
strider?
Carmichael, yeah.
He's just a long strider, and he just effortless. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of that guy. And he's only 6'3" or 6'4", but he looks taller. And his
Harold Carmichael was like 6'7", wasn't he?
7, yeah, he's sick.
Big dude.
Yeah, he was huge. So he's not that big, kind of that effortless runner. And it's got really, really good for a big man. And when they went 11-11, the first couple of plays are going to Godwin. Godwin's going to have a huge year, in my opinion. I think Bake and Godwin are just going to be, because remember the Liam Cohen. There's Cam Johnson right there. The Liam Cohen offense was a much shorter passing, get rid of it offense, and that's when Baker threw for 71% completion percentage.
Right.
So I think that's something we return to: more short passing, more run game. Obviously, there's Jalen McMillan, number 11, and J-Mac. I think he's another guy. If I was drafted fantasy, I would take him in the later rounds. I think he's gonna have a big year too. I really do.
My tight end right there.
Keefe?
Culp.
Oh, Culp. Yeah, there hasn't been a whole lot of talk about that. By the way, the new guy, Bauer Sharp.
Huh?
Yeah, he was running with the ones on some plays.
Oh.
That's interesting. He runs really well. But I still think I don't think he's moving up the depth chart that fast. It's still Kate Otten. It's still Payne Durham. There's your boy, Vita Vea,
holding his back.
Look, see how much pain he's in.
My back hurts.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's just, come on now.
It's silly though. Come on.
I'm just not gonna go there. All right. So if we're doing these Buckies in order as I sent them to you,
yeah, I've got a couple more. I got to load here too. Now that we've played some of these.
Okay. We'll play Bucky here. I think this is on his off-season, shoulder, etc. Let me see here.
Shoulder feel, you look great out there.
There you go.
Shoulder feeling good. I just want to thank the training staff, to everyone that helped me on the road to recovery. Just taking it day by day. I just want to give a big thanks to them for helping me get back to where I want to be.
What is your off-season look like?
Man, my off-season been great. Once I got the word that I was clear, I pretty much got back to my routine. Went spent some time down in South Florida. Got with the coach that I spent my rookie season with, getting back to work with him. So everything's been great.
Sorry about the background noise there. I'm asking him about Gainwell, and he was dapping him up, and they're working.
That relationship, it's been going great. Kenny's an even better person. We all can know what he could do on the field, but just having a leader like that in our room, he's been around some great backs, so just being able to sync up that knowledge. And like I always say, man, it's always good to have two good backs in the room. We complement one another and see how far this thing goes.
With Zach Robinson as the new offensive coordinator, what's that been like, and how much different do you think this offense is going to be this year?
I mean, it's been good ever since Zach got here. I mean, you see what he do in Atlanta. He get his playmakers the ball in the best possible ways, and the things that they are good at. So we're just taking it day by day and letting him lead us in the right direction.
Well, you guys had a lot of success on offense, scoring, running the ball, and all that. Which you had that taste of success. It didn't happen last year, but how hungry are you guys as a unit to get back to what you're able to do and live up to everyone's potential?
I mean, every season is going to be different. You can't really live in the past, but just being able to lead on our new offensive coordinator to get us in balls in good spots and put us in the right places to make plays, and we trust him, and we just lead him, taking it day by day to execute his plays that he calling, and when it's time for us to go out there and play, we just got to execute at a high level. I mean, he got his own way of calling this plays. I don't want to pretty much put him and Liam in the same category, but they all got their ways of calling their plays, how they want to call them.
So ask him there about Zach and Liam. The offenses are similar. How they call plays, we'll find out. How they sequence plays. But yes, Kurt Thorson corrected me. 17 is Ted Hurst. Shep is not out there, and Godwin at 14 just looks fantastic. He's entering his 10th season, by the way. I was like, man, wow. He's like that. It seems like a blink of an eye. I'm like, yeah, it does. It's been 10 years since I remember him as a rookie. Man, he was just fantastic. Coming out of Penn State, coming off that big Rose Bowl game where I first saw him play, and I'm like, damn, that guy's really good. And now 10 years later, he's the elder statesman, but he looks fantastic out there. His burst is there, and I think he's going to have a big year. And he spoke about all the different receivers, and he talked about Jalen. And I really don't – we haven't really seen this. He goes, Jalen's a big personality. Like, we really haven't seen him kind of, burst on the scene that way because obviously he was hurt last year for a lot of the time. So I think we're going to see a much more omnipresent Jalen McMillan. I think he's going to be making plays, and I think we're going to see, more interviews, more all of that going on. So good stuff from him. All right, let me do one more Bucky here. I
mean, we don't really talk about it. We got to stay focused on what we got at task. I mean, we all know this thing is a business, but we let them players take care of what they got to take care of, and when they back, we're gonna be excited to have them back. We all know what the
talking about Baker and Vita.
So whenever they get back and get whatever they got going on done, we're gonna be excited for them.
So that was him talking about Baker and Vita's situation, and as I said at the top, it's kind of we're not gonna worry about it right now. It's not a factor. Because, again, in 2 weeks, they both could have contracts and we could be at Camp Kumbaya again. But we'll see. This is all part of the negotiation on both fronts. As I said, I don't think the Bucs are that dumb. I think they know the value of Baker and Vita Vea. They're just trying to get the best deal they can get.
And it's part of the process, right?
Yeah. So we won't freak out just yet. But it doesn't look great. It doesn't look great right now. And if we're commenting on what it looks like right now, it ain't great. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, Charlie Strong will join us. We're going to talk about Vita Vea. How much does he have left in the tank? This is a big part of the process, folks, because a lot of people are saying, look, he's old. Let him go. No. I don't think that would be smart. So we'll hit that when we come back with Coach Strong. We're brought to you by the Gold and Diamond Source. It is still Christmas in July, at least for a couple more days, right? Christmas in July. They'll have great savings over there. And don't forget, they've got all kinds of real diamonds, not fake diamonds, real diamonds. That's all they sell. 5 carat, 10 carat, 20 carat. They have the Jaleeve collection, which you won't find anywhere else. Lots of fun stuff at the Gold and Diamond Source. Great place to shop. Nice and cool inside, just like Christmas time. And you can go get some great deals. 0% financing at the Gold and Diamond Source. Back in 3. Well, the folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC want to say thanks for making them so dadgum busy. Of course, advertising on your favorite Tampa Bay sports talk show helps, but it's their incredible customer service, honesty, and integrity that have earned them tons of 5-star reviews. And now you could be part of the team at Third Generation. Yes, they are so slammed, they need to hire more certified AC technicians and plumbers. It's a great family business to work for. My buddy John Rodriguez runs an old school family business since 1995. They pay well, give you all the holidays off, and they offer great benefits. No cold corporate atmosphere here. You're part of the family. If this sounds cool to you, call them and apply at 813-961-8024, or you can email your resume in at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Just go to the website, you'll see the button, email them, or call them at 813-961-8024. And don't forget about the $169 yearly maintenance special. It's a no-brainer, guys. thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and they also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our FanStream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream, fanstreamsports.com.
Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show as we roll on here. Brought to you by the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Course, and also Kingmakers, kingmakers.com, where we're coming to you right now. Go to kingmakerstampa.com, find out about membership at this great place. And thirdgenerationplumbing.com. They also do AC along with American Standard Heating and Cooling. They are your dynamic duo for your AC needs. Get the maintenance special, $169. They'll come out twice a year, clean your drain line out, make sure everything's going well. For $169. It's Third Generation Plumbing. They also do AC and American Standard Heating and Cooling. All right, let's welcome in the coach, Charlie Strong. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Jay.
Are you glad that you're not out at training camp today? It was really cool today, though. It was really nice.
No, you miss it now. You do.
You miss it?
Just being out there, being around the guys, and getting a little coaching in, a lot of camaraderie.
Yeah.
Really do.
Even the heat?
Oh, the heat didn't bother me.
You're a Florida guy.
You know what? I always wore that long sleeve turtleneck. So
yeah.
Really
how do you do that?
But it was dry fit. So it didn't really bother me because I would wear a T-shirt underneath it and it would catch all the sweat.
Okay.
But I just
don't like things on my arms when it's hot.
I know it. I gotta have it on me. I just want to protect my skin, I guess.
I get it. Yeah. All right. So you said something a couple of weeks ago, and it's been part of the Vita Vea conversation that I think a lot of people are missing, because everybody goes, "Oh, he's 31 years old. Defensive tackles that big, they fall off the cliff," which is true. I think for for most mortals that play this game, it's true. But Ndamukong Suh and Vita Vea, and of course, Vea has been training with Ndamukong Suh for the past 5 or 6 years, and he's changed his body. And I did all the numbers yesterday about how Suh played so well into his mid-30s, 35, 36, 37, right with that same time frame that Vita's coming into. And I feel like he's top 3 defensive tackle in the game for what he does. Why would you not want to pay this guy?
Jay, if you would just look across the NFL, how many guys, if you took an inside player, a guy that plays, he can play over the nose or he can play 3 technique, but he's better over the nose. And, you know, where he's over the nose or inside shade of the guard. I don't know how many guys in the NFL are better than him.
I don't think any.
I don't either, because he is so strong and he's so powerful. And whenever he wants to reset the line of scrimmage, he can do it. And that's what he's good at. So when you look at what's going, he's 31, but I just look at when he started working with Suh, he's taking care of his body. He's been injury free. You know, you don't see him getting injured, missing a lot of games. But the guys is still, I still think he's got a lot of football left.
3, 4 more years, good years?
Oh, easily 3 or 4 good years. Because the thing about him, he's like right now, he knows how to take care of his body. Like he knows when to go, when to take the time off, because he can't go. He knows that he can't go out there every day and get beat up. It's no vets, dude. Like none of them do. Like a guy that is really a good player and who's a vet, they don't go out there every day and just put it out and say, hey, I got to go out here and go. Now the rookies, they got fresh legs.
Yeah, let them run around.
Let them run around.
So Bowles said last year that he's the most important person on that defense. Would you agree with that?
Well, what Bowles does on defense, he's the most, because I always look at it like this with a defense. You got to be good down the middle. So if you're good at the nose with Vita, but you lose your backer now.
And Levante,
now you lose him. But you still got Wendell back at safety. So you're still good down the middle. Like you're good down the middle of your defense. And that is where it's critical, because he can reset the line of scrimmage and he can force the ball. What you don't ever want to do on defense is allow the ball to get downhill on you.
Yeah.
And then they just move the line of scrimmage.
You can't stop that.
You can't stop it.
Yeah.
But the moment you make it run sideways, now you are athletic enough and they have enough skill where they can run guys down. So Vita is really important because you know about setting the edge. He don't have to set the edge on the outside. He can set it in the middle.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when we talk about being able to play with that, if they were to trade him, what would this defense look like?
Well, you know, right away you're going to say who's going to be your guy there, and that's
you move A'Shawn Robinson there.
Well, A'Shawn has played there. Simmons has come along. He's played there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the young man they got from Clemson, he's played inside some. But you got to miss that because
they're not Vita Vea.
No, and what you look at him and Kalijah, they play off of one another. Like they're so tied to the hip that they know when, hey, you know, Kalijah may say to him, hey, Vita, I'm going to jump this gap. And hey, be ready to, you know, overplay, go back and play back for me. But they've been playing together and they have great communication and they know what the other one is doing because they have built that relationship.
That's a great point. Yeah.
But you can't. It'll be if you was to let him go. It's hard now. It's hard to replace big guys.
Right.
It's hard to replace big guys with experience.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why. I mean, if it's $25 million a year for 3 years, $75 million, I think that would get it done. I would do that in a heartbeat. I mean, I hear people say, "Well, we got to have money for Yaya Diaby and Cody Mock." I get that. Cap goes up every year. We got to pay Baker. I get that. People say you can't pay everybody. Well, you kind of can if you want to push stuff down the road, but I just think it's too important. I mean, to me, this guy would be the priority.
Well, you got to look at it. You got to live in the present. You know, you're worrying about, hey, down the road, we got to pay this guy.
That's right.
Hey, what do we have to do right now?
To win, right?
To win right now.
You can't
go into the next season. What do we have to go do?
Like, it's about this year.
And
we can get a second-round pick for a second-round pick for Vita Vea. Are you kidding me? You want that player as long as you can have him.
And that's the thing. You can see I mean, if you're somebody guy who has a poor attitude, who didn't want to work, you know, who is not good in the locker room, you say let him go. This guy's not like that.
No.
He's the most likable guy on the team. Everybody respects him. The most respected player on the team, because all those players know when he's ready to play and he say, I'm ready to go, he can mess up a whole drill.
Yeah.
He can go out there practice and just mess the whole drill up if he really wanted to.
So I think that's the thing. If everybody thought, oh, Vita Vea at 27, sure, we'd give him top dollar. I still say this is not like a normal defensive tackle. He is a freak. He's a freak of nature, and I would give him the money.
Well, you look at it like this. Philadelphia Philly paid their guy.
Yeah, Jalen Carter did.
They paid Carter.
Yeah.
And
what was that deal for?
Oh, it was a lot now. But he rightly deserved it. But you got to look at it too. Is that you're talking about a player here that has been a staple here in this defense, and how important he is in this defense. And Bowles knows how important he is. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you, I know he doesn't want him to go. So you gotta look at it like, how do we keep him? What we have to do to keep him. And like I said, let's win right now.
Yeah. 4-year extension for Jalen Carter, $152 million, making him the highest paid interior defender in the NFL. The deal includes $106 million guaranteed. It keeps him with the team through 2031. So 4 years, $160 million guaranteed. That's $26 million a year. I'd do that for Vita. I mean, I know Jalen's younger, but so that means maybe you can get him for 23 a year. Come on now.
And the only thing you can say is Jalen's younger.
Yeah.
I
don't think he's better.
No, I don't think he's better. I think that what Vita can do, Jalen may be more athletic and rushing a passer or whatever, but Vita is your staple. He is your defense. He is, and that's why you got to look at it like, hey, we have to find a way to keep him.
He's got a back injury, Coach. He tweaked his back. That's why he's not practicing.
I think he can get through that. I think he can get through that.
You said he didn't practice anyway last year at training camp anyway.
He takes care of his body, so he knows when he's got to go, and then he knows when I got to rest, and he'll tell you, like, even during the season, he'll say, hey, Coach, look, let so-and-so get the reps, because he knows the defense, because he's been in the defense.
He don't need to practice
and it's not going to change. The defense isn't going to change.
No.
And he's been knowing, so he knows what to do. And he's like, hey, let some of these young guys, and the thing he does is he stands and he coaches them. Like, even like if he didn't practice today, I guarantee you, he was sitting there.
Oh, yeah, he's out there holding bags.
Coaching those young guys, hand placement, where to put your eyes, your footwork. He's coaching them, and he's trying to help them.
So, Coach, if the situation right now over there, from a media standpoint, I did this monologue yesterday. Basically, look, Mike Evans wanted to be a Buck for life, and he left. He left and went across the country, took way less money. That's a bad sign in your organization, in my opinion. Baker Mayfield, I think, is the greatest fit for the Buccaneers as a quarterback since I don't know when. He's proven himself. He's inculcated himself into not only this franchise as the leader, but also the community. He's at every charity event. He's hanging out at the Anchor Bar. I mean, this guy is quintessential Tampa Bay. What effing more do you want in a quarterback? And Vita Vea's situation. So I look at this organization. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what are the players saying? What's going on? At this time last year, it was, as I said, Camp Kumbaya. Mike was taking less money. Everybody was taking less money. Everybody was rowing in the same boat. It was beautiful. And now this is like Camp Chaos. It's totally different. So how does Bowles handle this? He said today, look, these things will work himself out. You just talk about football. You just zero in on football. But is there something going on in this organization?
Well, the tough thing for Bowles, and he's right, because as a head coach, you just got to go out and get your team ready to go play with whomever you have.
Yep.
And you don't ever talk about that because it really is. That's not your concern. Your concern is, hey, let's get them ready. And the thing that's really tough is when you're talking about your quarterback and you're talking about a player like Vita. That's tough because those, like you said, those guys are so ingrained, not only on the playing field, but they're ingrained in a community. People have so much respect for them, and they do. They attend all the charity events, and they are very visible. And that's what you like about the players, when you can see that guy where you don't feel like that he's untouchable. Like, hey, you can't go approach him. They're in places where you can approach them. And that's why you want those guys. You want things to work out, and you want it to work out.
You want to reward those guys. You want to show your team that if you do things the right way, you get rewarded.
Because you know what happens, Jay? Everybody on the team is looking at how you are treated now.
Yeah.
So when it's time for them to do something, they're gonna be like, well, okay, if it took that long there, then what are they gonna do with me?
Can that affect how the team plays?
No, I don't think it will, because all these guys, they're getting paid, and
they're pros.
They're pros, and they're looking, hey, how can I make myself more money? What do I need to do to go make more money?
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting dynamic. Like I said, it was Camp Kumbaya last year, and they got off to a great start. You guys were off to 6-2, but it didn't end well. So in the end, what does it all mean? But I would say this: I think, and you were in the middle of it, but it seemed to me that last half of the year, when you after the bye week, it was a different team. It was a totally different team on the field. There was, Mike storming off the field, yelling 3rd and 28. Guys were yelling at each other. We'd never seen that before. It seemed like a completely different vibe in the second half.
And that's what happened when you lose a few games that you should lose, and you lose them when we lost them. Then you do it, and guys get upset because there's no way that should have happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you're coming into this season, like you said, and now you have these issues. But I just think that you just got to keep moving along, and Bowles just got, because the thing about Bowles, he does have the right attitude, because he doesn't, he don't get too high, he doesn't get too low. He just stays even keel with it, and that's what you have to do. Just stay even keel and just deal with what the situation. But it's nothing you can do about it. You just make sure.
Just go ready for football.
I gotta get ready for football.
All right. So SEC Media Days were here last week. And John Summerall, I thought, Florida's new coach, I thought he acquitted himself very well, especially yelling at that reporter for leaving his phone on. Telling him I'm going to throw the podium at you. I thought he handled himself pretty well. And I think in general, people are very pleased with the way he's handled things since he's gotten here. I like his edge. What are your thoughts on what you've seen and heard from Coach Summerall so far?
Well, and the thing about the University of Florida is you've been through all these coaches, and now you're trying to just find that guy. And the thing you like about Summerall is he's got the passion, he has a vision, and he's very relatable. Like the players, even with some of those guys that talk about they were going to transfer, until they sat down with him, and then he was able to go through his plan and just show them, hey, this is what we can do if you just stay here. And they have that belief because his whole approach and how he goes about it. And I just think that with the passion that he has and the vision he has, then it's going to be fine, because that's what they need right now. Because he's totally, he's 180 degrees different than what Napier was.
Yeah, very much so.
Just very much so. But he's coming in where it is up tempo, and he's talking, and he's got a lot of energy to him. And that's what you look for. Like when those players look at it, they want to see a coach with energy. They want to see a coach with passion. They want to see a coach that, hey, I know that this guy is going to get the most out of me because of how he goes about his work, because I'm watching him.
Yeah. I think he's going to have to do it on the field, obviously, in the toughest league. I don't know. Is it the toughest league anymore? Has the Big Ten eclipsed the SEC, Coach?
No, I got to go with the SEC. I can't see that. But the Big Ten, they won it the last few years. But when you look at it, you go Ohio State, you go Indiana, you go Michigan. But I just look at the SEC. Georgia's still sitting there. I think Texas is going to have a really good team. LSU with Lane coming in there.
Yeah,
they got a chance.
People are talking about Oklahoma,
and that's the sleeper, because you look at Oklahoma. Mateer, the quarterback, is back. They got a lot of defensive players back.
Venables took over the defense last year.
But Jay, I'm gonna say this now, and I know you're gonna be. I think Florida State is gonna be better than what people think.
Music to my ears, but I don't know if you've been drinking this morning, Coach. I don't know.
I just think that the quarterback is better than what we think he is.
Yeah, I saw Ashton Daniels do some interviews, and first of all, night and day different than Tommy Castellanos. I mean, get out of here with that. But he's professional. He's I just like his vibe.
I was watching the Auburn Vanderbilt game.
Yeah.
And he
late in the season. Yeah,
late in the season for Auburn, and the guy played unbelievable.
Yeah,
like I'm sitting there watching him. I was like, you know what? He get the right guys around him. And
they got some good receivers now. Deuce Robinson.
They got some receivers. They're legit. Now, can the defense hold up? And
I think the defense is going to be better
than what it was
because they have better linebackers. They got some good kids up front that are coming back. I was watching the replay of the Miami game. It just reminded me, FSU went toe-to-toe with Miami in the trenches. They really did. They just gave up big plays and stupid plays, and Castellanos made 3 or 4 just horrible throws. I mean, horrible throws. And also, every time he drops back, he couldn't see. Guys are freaking wide open, and he just missed. It's so frustrating to watch a game like that where your quarterback's just killing you. You get a kid like Ashton Daniels, who's a big kid, can stand in the pocket and deliver the ball. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I want to be cautiously optimistic, but I've been burned.
But I look at it like this: sometimes, and I think Norvell's playing it right. He just don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Just let your team go out and perform.
Be underrated, sure.
Be underrated. Hey guys, people don't think we're very good anyway, so we don't have to say anything. We're not going to say anything. We're going to let our work speak for itself. And just let him go to work.
Do you know Tony White at all, the defensive coordinator?
I don't know Tony. We've crossed paths.
He's came from the West Coast.
Yeah, he's a West Coast guy. He's one of those 3-3 guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think if he can just defensively, if they don't give up the big play, and they can stop the run, then they got a chance. Because I just think that I think Daniels is good enough to take them and with Deuce Robinson and they got
Chroma, the running back.
That's what I'm going to say. They have a running back who can run through people and can run behind his pads. But you look at it, I do. I don't know why I feel like that. I just think that there's one of those sleepers who's sitting there not saying much, but
it's a manageable schedule too.
Very manageable.
If they got SMU coming in week 2. Who's kind of one of the favorites in the ACC. And if they can kind of pull in Alabama, and it's going to be SMU's first game, it's going to be FSU second. Right. That makes a difference, right? You like that difference. First, dress rehearsal, New Mexico State.
Yeah, that's right. You get all the cobwebs out of the way.
Everybody lines up better, knows what they're doing better, gets the butterflies out.
Because you look at SMU, they have the quarterback who's really athletic, but they lost a lot of guys too now.
Yeah.
And so it'd be interesting to see what they're one of those teams that is up tempo, want to get on the ball fast and try to get the ball down the field. But I tell you, I just think Florida and Florida State will be better than what everybody think they will.
Yeah, I think Florida's going to surprise a little bit because they got much better talent than people know.
Well, if once they get the quarterback situation, because you look at them outside, you got Vernon Brown, who's a really good receiver.
Great receiver.
The running back is really special.
Oh, Jaden Ball.
Oh, he's really special. Yeah. And because you look at last year, you got 1,000 yards, but he really
got 1,000 against FSU.
Yeah. That's when he broke his record.
He's still running, I believe.
Still running. Yeah. And then on defense, I just think that they're in the core of their defense where you need to be really good up front is where they got guys up front who can rush the passer and who can stop the run.
Yeah. And their schedule's a lot more manageable than it's been the past 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah. Who do you think wins the SEC?
Ooh.
I got Georgia.
I know everybody's saying Georgia because of Stockton, the quarterback.
Yeah, but their offensive line is inexperienced.
I don't know. I got to go.
But they're talented.
Let's say this.
5 stars everywhere.
But see, Texas is the same way.
Yeah.
You got Arch Manning. And I just think with him he's going to go out and have an explosive year. They got a really good roster, and it's going to be something now. Because you look at those, you think about it. Those 2 teams you're talking about battling with LSU sitting there, and then with the Big Ten, you can't say that. Like you say Ohio State, Indiana, and who else?
Well, I'm Indiana. I believe in them, but not that much.
Well, I just say this: they don't have the players, but I just think that it's something about winning. And now you don't won, and now that the players you get,
They believe in it.
They
yeah.
believe in it
Yeah.
because now you have won. But the team is still going to be sitting there. Who I think they don't play anybody until they play Miami, Notre Dame.
Yeah, their schedule is really easy.
They don't play anybody until I think they play Notre Dame in November.
Yeah, and they got C.J. Carr coming back.
They got Carr coming back.
They're loaded.
They're loaded. I mean, they lose those running backs from last year. But they're
and I think Marcus Freeman is a really good coach. Really good coach, a great motivator.
Yes.
And just, the way he runs his program, top
I watched
notch.
them practice, and I was really impressed. I said, wow, they're going to have a really good team.
That's an interesting thing because I always say that. I go watch a team practice. If you watch a whole practice, you get a really good feel of what that program's all about.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
What impressed you about his practices?
Just the whole tempo and how just the organization and it was like you see guys running from drill. You don't see guys casually moving.
Yeah,
they're running from drill to drill, and then when that whistle blows, I mean, guys are taking off and they're going where they. And then when it gets there, it is so much high intensity. When I was at Alabama with Coach Saban, that's the way it was.
Yeah,
I mean, when practice started. He was like, oh, God, we got to buckle up for the next 2.5 hours, whatever. We're going to be long. We're going to be out here because it was high intensity. And, guys, you better know where you're supposed to be because those whistles are blowing and guys are moving. It was something to see. If you was at practice and you're like, oh, my God, man, this is like – it was like controlled chaos.
Yeah.
But the guys knew where they were going.
They've done those behind the scene things with Alabama and their practices and, following Coach Saban around who really coaches.
Oh, he coaches.
Hands on.
He coaches the defensive backs. He's
hands
on. The defense, he's hands on. When we met, he was leading the defensive meeting. I mean, but he's leading it. This is what I want to see, guys. And this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you see other practices, and you're like, "There's just not a whole lot of juice here."
Oh yeah.
And it's a lot of just lollygagging around.
Oh, like sometimes you go to practice.
I think professional practices are kind of like that. I don't know why. Maybe it's just watching.
Well, I think like right now with the professional practices, because they don't do OTAs and everything, they kind of like now they're getting into that mindset of, all right, we kind of know who we are. So now let's just try to get better every day in what we're working on. And then when you get to the preseason games, you get to play a lot of guys and just see, how these guys going to do. And when it's time for them to go play, when the clock is on them. Yeah.
Like I don't think the Bucs practices are very high intensity. And are all professional practices like that?
Oh, yeah. Some of them are way. Some don't even move like that. But it's so funny because you can go to a practice and guys will be like, hey, man, this is a college, man. We don't have to move like that.
Right. We don't have to run from drill to drill. Come on, dog. You're making me look bad.
This isn't a college, man.
Bane was in there in OTA sprinting from, from drill to drill. Like the vets are like, yo, dog, chill that. This ain't college, bro. We don't need to be. You don't need to be showing everybody up. Come on now.
Exactly.
All right, Coach. Always great to visit with you. Appreciate you, my man.
Yes.
Let's do it again next week.
Sure
We'll see what's going on. Hopefully, Vita will have a contract by then.
Yes.
They ain't that dumb. They're not going to trade him.
He'll have something by then.
I agree with you. I agree. I mean, Bowles must be going crazy. Like, get him signed. I'm finally got a front four where I don't have to freaking blitz every game 100 times. I do not do this to me.
No.
Yeah.
Get him signed.
Get him signed. All right. Thank you, Coach. All right. We'll take another break. We'll come back. We got some more interviews for you. And we've got your comments as well. I want to get to the Rays as some poor execution by the Rays as well last night. So stay with us. Back in 3.
Oh, they still leading the division?
Yeah. Hey, Tampa Bay, it's time to get your AC unit ready for summer. And here at Third Generation Plumbing and Mechanical, we recommend getting ahead of the game, keeping your family cool before the hot summer months with one of our maintenance agreements in the hopes of avoiding the dreaded emergency service call. Our maintenance agreements include, we'll test the electrical components, check and tighten high and low voltage wire connections. We'll check the refrigerant for manufacturer's performance levels, test thermostats, calibrate if needed, clean the evaporator coil and condenser coil, and clear and treat the drain line and drain pans. Just call us at 813-961-8024 for the special rates, and a human will actually answer. 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's a love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here as we roll on this Wednesday, first day of camp. Absolutely. Get this camera up. Sorry, I'm producing now. Timmy had to go do his other show in the afternoons. All good. We'll talk about some of the positive things that happened at camp today, you guys, and get to your comments as well. So hang in there. Whatever you guys want to chat about, you know where to do that. You can do that on YouTube. You can do that on X. You can do that on Facebook as well. So we'll try to get to all those before we close out the show. In case you missed it, Tristan Wirfs missing because of hamstring, not expected to be serious. Vita Vea with the back injury, but we all know what it is. It's a hold-in for the contract that we just talked about. Everybody else I pretty much saw was out there. I mentioned Jalen McMillan, receiver. remember last year at the end of his first year, really had a kind of a breakout, 7 touchdowns, I think, in the last 8 games or something like that. Then he got the hospital ball from Teddy at the beginning of last year, broke his neck, came back late. And previous, by the way, to the hospital ball from Teddy was he was having a great camp, a fantastic camp. You really felt like he was going to emerge on the scene. And then the setback, then he comes back late in the season and starts making plays. So now he's had a whole off season to rehab. He says, his third season now. Godwin was talking about, working out with him, how, he's a big personality, just really feels like he's going to burst onto the scene this year. And, where are the targets going to go? Obviously, I think Godwin's going to get the most. You saw Gainwell today. We're not allowed to talk about, where guys are lining up or strategy like that. Just put it to you this way. Gainwell is going to be used extensively in the passing game. Maybe as more of a wide receiver at sometimes, but not that we're breaking any news here. The guy's going to get a lot of touches. I would expect Gainwell, if he stays healthy, to get 20 to 25 touches a game, and share the carries with Bucky, which I think is a much more better dynamic. I didn't like Bucky being used as a bell cow back, 20, 25 carries a game. That's just not his thing. And to me, I give him 12 to 15 carries a game, another 5 touches in the passing game, get the ball in his hands, but it doesn't have to be all the time. And with Gainwell, it doesn't have to be. They can really share carries. And then you got Sean Tucker there, who can obviously, when given the opportunity, be good enough to win Player of the Week and just go off. So they're really, really good in the running back room, and I think it's going to help them in the passing game as well. But you can also just see, and again, I can't get into specifics, this looks like a much more Liam Cohen type of offense. The run games, the you got to be careful here, but it just looks much more like where they're marrying that run game and the pass game very well with the bootlegs and what have you. You remember what Liam's offense looked like, and it was tremendous. Baker had 41 touchdown passes and a 71.3% completion percentage. So those short passes are going to be part of it. Zion McCollum had a pick 6 today. Now, Ibuka kind of came out of his break. It's kind of a deep out to the outside, and Baker, I thought, was a little late with the throw, but if Ibuka doesn't fall down, it's probably not a pick 6. But what I did like was Zion jumped the route, and he was physical with Ibuka. So, and he said afterwards, the Pewter Report, that I'm not playing it safe. This is music to my ears. I think the Buccaneer corners have played so safe for so long. I want them to take chances. I want them to jump routes. Listen, Keontae Scott is used to that at Miami, playing that aggressive way. I don't know if it's something that's been coached here by Kevin Ross and some of the guys that have left, and that the younger guys are like, no, we want to be more aggressive on the ball. But it's been one of my big frustrations that, first of all, when these corners are playing zone, they're nowhere near the receivers. For whatever reason, they just don't match up in their area, and they just allow easy completions time and time again when they play zone defense. The 12-yard cushion just freaking drives me nuts. So hopefully this defensive backfield is going to be more aggressive and not play it safe. And at least today with Zion, he got the 1 pick, and that was good. Got Jacob Parrish, I think, in year 2. That could be a little bit better, but I don't know. I don't think I saw Morrison today, or at least didn't make an impact as far as what we saw today. So I think this defense has a chance to be way better, but not. We'll see. Without Vita Vea, they're not going to be better. That's for damn sure. So that's the first thing that needs to be done. All right, let's get to your comments. Let's go. We'll start from the back today since we're talking ball now. Rick says, breaking news, Bucs trade Vea and sign Desmond Watson. Glazers announce another documentary about the beauty of walkthroughs. Yes. Yes, Chris Cole. He is trolling. Chris Cole says ownership is trying to save money for the stadium renovations, in my opinion. Listen, if renovations have anything to do with what you're spending on players, please sell the team. I don't think that's part of it. I do not. But there's legitimacy to it. There's legitimacy to it. I think Are they setting it up for a sale? I don't know. There's never been, nobody's talked about that. The ownership group hasn't even sniffed it. But, sometimes when these things happen, you don't hear about it. Chris Cole says, I believe that Light and Company are handcuffed by the owners. You know what? I would not disagree with that, which is a softer way of saying I agree with you. I don't have any proof of that except the way they're acting. You listen little and watch what they do. And what they've done, they went less in free agency, obviously, getting Anzalone and Muhammad, which, by the way, one of the things, I tell you guys this all the time, one of the things I love about watching practice is you can see a lot of these drills up close and personal and get a feeling for how these guys move, how athletic are they. And when you watch Bain go through the bag drill, it's just like that dude he's intense. He's super athletic. He's super quick. You see why he's so good. And then you watch Muhammad go through. He's a big guy, and he looks the part, and he wants to look the part. He's got the shorts pulled up. But athletic, he is not. Compared to these other guys, you can see why he's kind of been, this is my opinion, nice guy and all that, but you can see why he's kind of been a rotational player. He got 11 sacks last year. I haven't broken down his tape, but just watching him move and watching some of the other guys move, like Diaby, very fluid for a big man. He moves really, really well with intensity. Bain the same way. Muhammad, they were doing a drill where they have to, shuffle their feet behind and keep their hands behind their back. He had to go back and do it a couple times. Just leave it at that. Good rotational player. Hope he has a good year. I wouldn't be chalking up 11 sacks for him this year. I don't see that. Nathan Stout says to Chris Cole, not saying Vita should get the same contract as maybe Jalen Carter, 4 years, 160, but the Eagles and other top franchises always pay a premium for their star players, and they take care of their players in the trenches big time. And to me, Vita's the number one guy on the defense. Why would you not pay the number one guy on your defense? Because he's older as a defensive tackle? I'm looking through that. I'm listening to what Coach Strong is saying. This guy's got 3 to 4 really good years left. And if you think he's the dominant player on your defense, as Bowles has said, and I think we all would agree, you got to pay him. Chris points out Carter's 24 years old and doesn't even play nose tackle. Listen, obviously he's much younger. We get that. But Vita Vea is a better player, in my opinion. He's a better player. St. Pete Pat says, for as important as people say Vita is to the defense, they are still a middle-of-the-road defense that can't rush the quarterback consistently. Well, I'll tell you this. They've been a dominant run defense because of Vita Vea since the Super Bowl and even further back than that. Since he's been here, they've been a dominant run defense. And when there's been really good players around him, they've been the best in the league. And as soon as you take him out, they're mediocre. He pushes the pocket, and when you run games with him, the other person has a very, very good opportunity to get pressure. Hassan Reddick. But you got to have somebody better and more committed than guys like that. They need better people around them. The reason that this defense has been not good against the pass ain't Vita Vea's fault, Pat. There's a lot of other reasons for it, and he's not even on the top 10. He's a asset in your pass rush. He's got to take up 2 guys, and when they take up one, if you leave him one-on-one in pass plays, he will literally just run the guard or the center right back into the quarterback every single time. That's why he's double teamed all the time. So I would have to disagree with your assertion there that he's part of the issue. Chris Cole says, I'm more concerned about Wirfs and Morrison than anything. I wouldn't be concerned about Wirfs. I think it's just a tweak and they're just being careful. It's the first day of camp. Scott Anders Mellum is new in here. Welcome. Says, I'm confident this deal will get done. Talking about the Rays deal. After listening to the interview, I have the impression that Carlson is likely to vote yes as long as the Rays give some concessions. You are correct. 100%. If the Rays play hardball, and I don't think they will, they want to get this deal done, but this is where the rubber meets the road. Everybody's trying to get the best deal they can get. And at this point, the Rays are going to have to concede some things. Absolutely. Rick says, no fan stream microphone. Did DAE give you the side eye? Here comes Mr. Ray Stadium All-Pro. Yeah, that was my bad. I didn't charge up the microphone. It went dead on Godwin. My bad. Once again, my technical inefficiencies destroying the program. Sorry about that. Bill Julian says no. He said he would vote yes originally on the MOU so he could give it a chance. That was his statement. You are correct. And talking about Carlson, someone may have alleged otherwise. Rick says JP is the beacon of light and hope for Tampa and the Rays. Where will his statue be placed in Raysville? And yes, use the AI photo. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great idea, Rick. 100%. I need my own statue. I told you I just want a little brew pub in center field where we can have the Sports Club of Tampa Bay Hall of Fame plaques up, and I get a little podcast studio, and me and Big O talk baseball and serve beers. That's what I want. Mr. Pooh Shiesty, one of our VIP members, V.I. Peterman, says the local NPR station, WSF, had a pretty good coverage of the Rays Stadium drama, including some quotes from Mayor Jane on yesterday's show. Yeah, I think they've covered it pretty well. I got to give them credit, better than a lot of other outlets. Man Bear Pig says, I've been waiting since 10 a.m. for this show to start, torturing me with the Dan Patrick show. I think it's 4 out of 5 local sports fans would listen to a local show over a national show. Yeah, that's why we do hyper local here, folks. Alejandro, I don't want to rehash some of that stuff. He says the Bucs have announced they're going to wear the all pewter uniforms as well, as they haven't worn those since 2023 when they brought back the creamsicle jerseys. I'm excited because my last Bucs game was 2024. Yeah. Alejandro, you get excited about what uniforms they wear to go to the games? I don't do that. I don't really care what they wear as long as it's not super ugly. Well, actually I do. I don't want you to wear creamsicles. Can't win them. Simple as that. Now the white 76 creamsicle jersey, those are nice. And we win in them. Shocking development. Michael LaRue says, Bill Carlson said fire truck shouldn't be more than 5 years old, that businesses are leaving Tampa Bay because of broken roads, sidewalks, and parks, and that Tampa has bad leadership for the last 15 years. Yeah, that's what he says. He's not a big fan of the mayor. Not a big fan of the mayor. We'll see who wins the mayoral election coming up. And if Carlson were to cast the tie-breaking vote or the winning vote to get this thing passed, I think he's got a much better chance of being mayor. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. What else we got here? Danny Boy says, that's why I've been saying you need to get Eileen Rodriguez, Wostall's opponent, on the show. Yeah, we do. We do. We need more political interviews for this sports show. Absolutely. Listen, Eileen, I think, has it wrapped up. Wostall's got no chance. None. Pooh Shiesty says, is the showtime changed so that Tim could do more fireball shots before the show starts? No, but it will happen. Alejandro said Scott Reynolds from Pewter Report also said that Vita Vea might not be traded and the deal could still be done during training camp. The same happened with Tristan, who held out the first week and then got his contract done. Yeah, that's what we've been talking about, bro. I still think this is more of a ploy to get a contract. I'll just tell you this: if we end up trading Vita Vea for a second round pick or even a low first round pick, the rebuild is underway. The rebuild is officially underway. And as I said, you do not rebuild unless you absolutely have to. And we are not even close to that. We've got a top 10 quarterback who you could sign, by the way. We got a top 3 offensive line, in my opinion. You've got a great stable of backs, very good receiving core. The defense is your question mark, and Bain fell in your lap. You could have one of the best rush ends in the NFL. And with Vita, you have a chance to have a really good run defense with Anzalone. Hopefully he's got some more tread on the tires. Trotter looks, he's a very fluid athlete. I don't know how good he's going to play it. Linebacker is a very instinctual position, but, he comes from great pedigree. His dad played in the NFL. So he should be a good player. Hopefully Winfield can get back to making plays. I'm a little concerned about the corners, and Keontae Scott needs to make an impression. He needs to get, needs to get turnovers. And Zion McCollum saying, I'm not playing it safe anymore. Music to my ears. And listen, Bowles did say this today. There have been scheme changes. That being said, Ruben Bain dropped into pass coverage today. So I don't know how dramatic the scheme changes are, but he says there have been some, and you've got new coaches on that side. Let's hope it's different. Airweed, one of our members, says, let's go out and get Scooball, a rise, and a catcher. Then life with the Rays will be even better with a World Series ring. Oh, I love you, brother. We have to be all in since there's a good chance there won't be baseball next season. I agree with you, man. I agree with you. Now, I wouldn't I don't know about Scooball, obviously, if we can get him, hopefully the price isn't ridiculous. Arise, Big O and I have talked about him. Good player, but not a great fit. We got a lot of slap hitters. We got singles hitters. I think we got it. If we're going to make a trade for a bat, it's got to be somebody with power, in my opinion. And if you could, go get Hunter Goodman from the Rockies, you settle 2 things, catcher and power bat. And I would give up a lot for that dude because he's young. He's 20. He'll be 20. He's 25 now. He's had 31 home runs last year. Already has 31 this year. Yeah, go get him and pay whatever that's where I would spend most of my capital, my minor league capital. Jimmy J. Voyager says, thank you, Bill Carlson, for everything you are doing. Supporting the taxpayers. I urge you to vote yes on the development. I think he can get there. I really do. Rick says, I think the Glazers like the drama and the Bucs name in the news. That's interesting. So you're saying, listen, Jason, play hardball with Baker, play hardball with Vita Vea, get us some national press, get us back relevant, then we'll just get them signed in the middle of training camp. Okay. All right. I mean, I'd rather be upfront with players and transparent and, just do the right thing and celebrate that, listen, when our players do the things we want them to do, when they become, pillars of the community and they're our hardest workers and they're setting the example inside the building and outside the building, when their contracts come up, we're going to go the extra mile to make sure we take care of our guys. That's the organization I want to be. And I don't necessarily think the Rays or the Bucs look that way right now. By the way, speaking of the Rays, we haven't talked much about their game last night. A couple things bothered me. Number one, and I looked it up last night, as Cedric Mullins takes a ball called a strike that was outside the zone and doesn't challenge in the 9th inning with 2 challenges left. I think the Rays need to get way more aggressive in their challenges, especially in important moments. And also, in the 4th inning, they had a chance. Well, actually, Cash took a run off the board when Cedric Mullins had runner on third. There was interference, catcher's interference. And I didn't even know this rule. The run scores. So you could either say, bases loaded, nobody out, or the run scores 1 out. So Cash, in a 2-0 game, took the run off the board and decided he'd rather have Chandler Simpson up at bat with bases loaded, nobody out. I think I could go either way on that. I'm not going to, it ended up biting them in the ass because they didn't get the run, but Chandler hit into a double play. He hit it sharply back to the pitcher, who kind of lolly-popped it to home and then threw to first, and they didn't challenge it. Once again, they didn't challenge in this situation. It was 4th inning, and I thought Chandler tied it. I thought it was Ty. When I saw the replay, and they only showed it once. When they came back from the next inning, they didn't show it again, which makes me feel like, did they not want to show that the manager screwed up and should have challenged it? Because I thought Chandler Simpson was safe. I thought that was Ty goes to the runner, that he was safe. I thought he beat it live and then in watching it, but the Rays decided not to challenge. And I think, again, this is a run. That's 2 runs that you could have had. I guess basically it would have been the same run, but at least 2 times you could have gotten a run and you didn't challenge. You didn't challenge and you gave back the other one. So I think Cash erred twice there. If I'm doing it from the hindsight perspective. And just in general, I thought Jackson was good last night. He had a decent start. You got to score more runs. And they just didn't get it done from runs. Caminero had a triple last night, and I just love the emotion that dude shows, man. He really freaking cares. Kurt Thorson saw him out there today, said we got to meet Rondé Barber, Emeka Ibuka, Baker Mayfield, Chris Godwin, Yaya Diaby, Ruben Bain. Also vote yes, Mr. Carlson. Yeah, it was a good day for you and your little boy there. Captain K says, how about camp walkthrough? It's soft. Just looks soft to me. I don't know. You don't want him out there banging heads for sure, but just in general, seems soft. Yes, Nathan Komatsi, the Rays did stink up offensively last night. They were bad. Kurt Thorson says Steven Matz has got to go. He's guaranteed to allow a homer in every outing, which he did last night. His later homer allowed was the Rangers catcher who had 0 home runs. Still Matz took the mound. Yeah, I think he was hitting 086 too. Lee Encinoza says Morrison with a hammy too. Dude is a bust. He's always hurt. Yeah, I didn't pick up on that out there today, but I remember not seeing him. So, yeah, listen, that's a bad start. That's a bad start to training camp, man. You got to get your hamstrings right. Kurt says, how about Philly making their defensive tackle the highest paid DT in the NFL in history on the same day Vita says he wants a trade or be paid more money? I wouldn't want to be late. Yeah, he did kind of reset the market there. But, again, I think this is doable to get Vita 23, 24 for 3 years. Come on now. Guarantee him 2. That's worth it. What else we got here? Michael LaRue says the Bucs can tab Baker for $47 million, but will carry an $80 million cap hit due to dead money. Baker will want more money per year than he would have signed for this offseason. It's going to cost the Bucs more money next year. Yeah, and I don't know. Yeah, I just wouldn't do it. You can play that card and make him prove it and give him no guarantees, but why do that? I think you reward your guys that are doing it right. LaRue says the Bucs must be afraid that Baker will get hurt, play poorly, or they want the door open to blow the whole thing up with a new coach and quarterback next year. Again, I do not think you rebuild unless you have to, and I don't think we're even close to that. And this whole idea of, the next coach, what's he going to want? What coach is not going to want Baker Mayfield? You think the next coach wants to draft a rookie and develop him? No. And I would think maybe you have a good idea who your next coach is. And if it's Mike Tomlin, if that's the guy you got waiting in the wings, you don't think Mike Tomlin would be down with Baker Mayfield? I think he would love him. So I don't, I'm like Coach Strong. I don't worry about these future machinations. And also like Vita Vea, like if you're a football coach and you don't know how to use Vita Vea or you can't figure that out, you're a bad football coach. Captain K says, I don't know, JP did bring Bowles back. That's pretty dumb. They let Liam go to the Jags. That was pretty dumb. So I'm starting to question some intelligence at one Buck place. Fair. Absolutely 100% fair. All right. I think we got to most of your comments here today. Really appreciate you guys jumping in. Don't forget, tomorrow and Friday, we are noon to 2 o'clock. Tomorrow, a special guest. Steven Garcia is going to join us. Steven is the former quarterback at Jefferson High School, took him to the state championship, I believe. Had a couple of good runs at Jefferson, then went to ended up at South Carolina with Coach Spurrier. Had a very interesting college career. Great dude. He's come down with stage 4 cancer, and he's having a fundraiser. So we're going to talk some ball with him tomorrow, talk about the Spurrier years and all the Jefferson years. So he will join us tomorrow, and we'll obviously have training camp updates, interviews for you tomorrow. I'm not sure who they're going to have on the podium tomorrow, but we'll bring all that to you as well. So we got, I don't know, we probably are not going to have a counter political figure on tomorrow for the first time in quite some time. So, we'll have that for you tomorrow, and that will be we will be watching and tweeting and doing all that fun stuff, and we will have more coverage for you tomorrow. We will see you then.